It's disco time. I actually forgot to use the logic to talk to the other guy. Let's see if he still has
So,
the same percentage. Yeah.
As always.
Let's do cigarettes. Oh, one use left. I should buy more. God damn it. The animation doesn't play for some reason. It's like it plays sometime.
Hi again. So, how are things going?
A number of things don't add up. Let's take a look. How about gather around, kids?
Okay, kids, now gather around.
The young speed freak puts down a busted capacitor and looks at you.
They're brewing drugs, right?
The one with
This is
the
what it's
large
about?
head seems very enthusiastic about whatever you have planned. Their would-be leader is less amused.
Sometime in the past, I'm not sure when and where, but betrayal was involved. I fell sick and became the shadow you see now. But before that, I have reason to believe I was a police detective.
But you still are.
Thank you for your kind words, but everyone in here sees I'm a disgrace to the uniform.
What happened?
Egghead looks serious suddenly. Life tore me a new asshole. I happened to myself. I did. I happened to myself.
That's a real downer.
He shakes his large head. Now, obviously, that might as well have been 1,000 years ago, but there is still some detective left in me.
The young speed freak is silent. He senses something is wrong.
This isn't the makings of a club, it's a tent full of laboratory equipment for manufacturing drugs.
I have no idea how you arrived at that conclusion, but it's wrong. Look, we even have speakers.
He points at the speaker.
One speaker. They have one speaker.
Nosafed is here for its active ingredient. Actually, I don't know if I can keep going at this. What is this first line about? Is this about the speaker? Because there's no line about the speaker, and usually there is something related to the suggestion. But okay, let's do something more convincing first, and then if we can try it again, then I'll try the first one. distilled water a cornerstone of a clean lab.
And of all cellular-based life, what's your point, Lawbringer?
Where is his friend? Did he lose his friend?
What do you mean, friend?
The other speaker. You have only one.
It's a one-speaker system. It's monodynamic. You wouldn't know the first thing about sound reproduction in anodic music. Other speaker.
This may be the brain damage talking, but you've definitely never heard of monodynamic or one-speaker systems.
Stereo? The ether in the air, a useful solvent, good for getting acting agent out of a solution.
Make up your mind. First it's the sweat, then it's the ether.
He smiles nervously. That nosophed is here for its active ingredient.
He said it was for his nose. What more do you want?
Likely pseudoephedrine, almost exactly the shape of ephedrine. Ephedrine makes you happy, and so does pseudoephedrine.
You have no headphones. Wouldn't Seal need her headphones to spin the tape?
What do you know about spinning tape?
I
Nothing.
know you pawned them, likely for lab equipment and drug ingredients.
I'm sorry, but there is no lab equipment and no drug ingredients.
There is no need for me to pile on anymore, is there?
No shit.
He sounds tired. In short, you tried to use a police detective to set up a drug lab.
That's... Come on, that's...
He waves his hands. Punishable by summary execution? Is it true though? Against the law?
I meant to say, not true.
You're sober. Was it hard for you to keep sober for this meeting? This is a weird thing though. I thought it would go away. I thought it was like leading you in a different direction if you didn't get what was going on in the first place. But I guess we could explore this? Right? One second. Just opening up a chat in Twitch. You are sober. What was it hard for you to keep sober for this meeting?
We don't need drugs to be hardcore. Shut the fuck up, Egg.
I know I wouldn't be as hardcore without the drugs. Like, well, it doesn't make sense. They didn't know that there would be a meeting. How they would be preparing for this meeting. Anyway, like, this is a strange question. I know I wouldn't be as hardcore without drugs. He doesn't know how to comment on what you just said. Maybe not today, Egg, but you need drugs to get through the days when you are not expecting me.
Climb down from the equestrian monument, cop man. Consciousness is new to the universe. We all have our ways to ease the shock.
Bottom line is, I know.
What exactly is it you know?
So what are we going to do with you?
What do you mean, do?
There's resignation in his voice. He's almost ready to drop the act. It wouldn't take a lot of pushing. The optimal way to go about this would be indifference. It begins by you telling him you don't care about any of this.
Really? Well, why not? Also, like, good that there are suggestions like that, because if there weren't, I would assume that this third option would be just dropping the case, but now I know that it's a strategy to keep them so they would confess more easily. I don't really care, I just wanted to crack the case. Do you do what you want, I'll do what I want.
Really?
He sounds relieved. Really, I wanted to ask you about something else.
You wanted to just ask me about something else?
He's a bit perplexed now. Shrug, or you can tell me the plan for the church really was. So how should I go about it? Or you can tell me the plan for the church really was.
He thinks for a moment, then opens his mouth, but closes it again. Then finally raises his hands.
Things are just way too hard for an entrepreneur in this city. It's not like we're not going to turn the church into the wickedest club in East Reversholt. Because we are! We totally are! We just got to turn it into a speed lab first.
You know, to get our foot in the door.
Alright, so we got the confession. And why did you need me? I mean, obviously, why?
Like I told you, spooky arseholes moved in while I was getting all this stuff together. A month ago, the place was empty, and now it's all spooked up.
They are not really spooky, are they?
No, man. They're spooky, all right. It's just that they would also probably call the police if we started cooking speed in there.
I mean, I don't actually want them... Maybe I should just keep them doing, because I might get a huge discount on speed with those guys.
But the sign was way off too. I couldn't feel the love at all. So, what now?
This is it. Judgment time.
Yeah. Okay, one sec. Give me your cash, pack up and report to Precinct 41, arrest them. Get lost, I don't want to see you again. Let's do this clean. No speed lab, just a club for Nordic music. I wouldn't work without... It wouldn't work without the lab. Do what you have to do to keep the club alive. I have to look into the spooker situation before I can decide what to do with you. There's no suggestion to get a discount for speed. I would go with that. There's a bribe option. There's no Kim around, which is nice. Yeah, I guess I would go with the bribe, I think, because I want those guys to be running speed. And we'll get some money for that. I wonder how much will I get. Give me your cash.
Come on, man. Really?
Though, they are not very... Yeah, they had to sell headphones to buy equipment.
The young man doesn't move. His earrings rattle from the tension. With his jaw clenched, he says,
No fucking way.
Yes, fucking way.
The would-be leader points at his friend. His finger shakes in the air.
Without a word, the other speed freak pulls a red wallet out of the toolbox and
That's
hands
not
it
much.
to you.
I was hoping for like at least 50.
The disdain is palpable. His eyes pierce you like lightning.
Oh my god,
as he
I can
lets go.
still arrest them after this? Proceed with both. Huh. Would go for another bribe. Should I do it? Or would it be too much? Or would it upset them? Because I don't know if it's going to be this way. I guess let's not be too greedy about it. It wouldn't work without the lab. Do what you have to do to keep the club alive.
Yeah!
The young man's smile widens to inhuman proportions. His teeth beam in the floodlight.
Respectable. I'm really feeling the science right about now.
It's probably not going to be easy. Those spookers in the church are not going to be happy about this.
But you can just evict them, right? You're the law, man. You've got this.
Seems to be getting jittery with excitement.
As always, we'll be right here, waiting patiently for the news. Yeah!
You see, if the Kim was here, I would probably arrest them.
The shaggy-haired girl kneels on the sea ice. She looks up as you approach.
So you talked to my associates, right? Are you going to help us?
I'll
With the
help you,
church,
all
I mean.
right.
Great. Let us know if there's any progress, will ya? We've been waiting for weeks here.
Your associate tried to use me to set up a drug lab. I am guessing you knew about this plan.
I did, and I'm sorry. For what it's worth. Which isn't much.
She doesn't appear surprised.
You don't get to choose your posse, they choose you. Mine are idiots, but they're mine. I tried to talk Andre out of it. I even tried not to lie to you.
Indeed, she merely tried
What?
to omit the truth.
You didn't
instead.
move from the spot. Tell me the truth, it's the same thing. Should have tried harder. Misleading a cop is no joke. I don't care. I'm a loco. I don't care, I'm a loco. I just wanted you to know that I know about that plan.
Okay, but I still regret it. I should have been able to control them. And I will in the future. I promise. May I ask? What did you tell them?
Once I cracked their play, I didn't really care. I am not an arbiter. You are someone else's problem.
We won't be anyone's problem. I'll get them under wraps, I promise.
I mean, I took the money. I guess we are omitting this fact. The others told me you went inside the church. What did you see there?
Oh, that. You're not going to believe me. There's
Oh,
no point in me telling you.
crab person.
She's less prone to blurt it out, crab man, than the others.
Well, see, go ahead and tell me.
Okay. I went in and I saw a woman next to one of those machines there. Noid calls it a mainframe. She was dressed like someone who's been raised by their grandmother, you know, strange old clothes. Had this absent expression, didn't say anything, just stood still.
That's not especially frightening.
And then, you know, right behind her, a man crawled down the wall. Upside down like a crab, down the church wall. I think the woman didn't even know he was there. He was completely silent. He stopped right before he got to the floor, then just hung there like that, looking at me. Right at me. I fucking turned around and walked out. End of story.
What did this crab man look like?
It was too dark. I couldn't tell exactly.
She shakes her head.
Come on, she obviously could. She already went into detail.
Come on, quit stalling on me. What did he look like?
He looked like a banger, okay? He was all muscular and stuff. Had a mesh tank top. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that only made it scarier in a way.
A crab and a banger? Who's a banger?
Yes, a banger. As in a mess gang member. I know what it sounds like, but that's what I saw.
Gangster crab man. Oh, gangster crab man? Yeah, I don't believe you.
I don't blame you. I mean, I wouldn't believe me either. I'm surprised Noid did. Andre I expected, but Noid...
She shakes her head. I'd like to know more about your associates.
My associates? I haven't got much to say about them.
Your pussies? What do you mean? You must know something about them.
Of course I do. I just don't tell people about my friends and who they are and so on. I don't provide information on them.
To the cops.
What about you? Tell me something about yourself.
Me? I'm a silver bird.
A silver bird. Feels strangely familiar. Was it an expression? And
Is it
if
a
yes,
white crow?
then for what? Then your mind slips and the thought is gone.
Like an outcast or... Oh, okay. Maybe I'll ask later about this.
Don't know what makes you think it'll be any different later, but...
Now it's a new task. A seal refused to talk about her friends. Maybe she'll open up later after you helped them set up the nightclub. Okay. Oh yeah! We also need to meet a woman at the land's end. Totally forgot about this. Is this a real... Yeah, it's a real bird. Kill it! Also need to check this ship if it's anything. Might be choices, but I don't know how to get there. Wait, the hanged man? What? We delivered it to the police station, like to the morgue. Why is it still there? What the heck? Oh yeah, let's search for the bottles. What the hell? Oh, oh, Joyce is here. The planks creak beneath your weight. Another way to say you're fatty, I guess.
The woman is tying a complicated nautical knot around the post.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, Detective.
She fastens the end of the line around the post and straightens her back.
It's good to see you here. I only just arrived myself.
What brings you here?
Nothing, really. I've had my eye on
Yeah,
this
nothing
jetty for
really.
weeks now, so I decided
Sure.
to investigate it personally. This cluster of buildings isn't on any of the official maps, as far as I can tell.
That. And she's also keeping an eye on you.
Have you been spying on me?
Spying has such a negative connotation. I did track your progress along the coast, however, and decided I would be better able to assist you from here. Then there's the matter of that little scamp in old lady clothes. She threatened to paint the cordelate she read. Like blood, you see. Well, I like it the way it is. White.
Cordelati, I guess the ship?
What is this? Destruction of property? Hooliganism? Elder abuse?
Hooliganism
And
is
who is this
a word in
scamp
English. I
anyway?
didn't know that. We have the same word in Russian, but I thought it wasn't used. I always try to translate it to like vandalism or bullying. Who is this scamp? Want me to look into it?
No need. Lillian and I are getting on much better. For one, she appreciates the concept of rent.
So how do you like it here?
How do I like it?
She casts her gaze toward the village, slash melting on the cinder blocks. Construction work left half-finished 10 years ago.
Water drips down eaves of Eternite. The jetty below her feet creaks to the tune.
Eaves? The part of a roof that meets or overhangs the walls of a building.
The smell of salt and dog shit in the background.
It's pornographically poor. The street has no name. All the men are dead or missing. And is that the carcass of a motor carriage over there?
Uh-oh.
I'm surprised that woman hasn't put me to the sword yet. Maybe she will. You should ask your questions while you can.
Dark eyes survey
What?
the coast.
She's not
leading
here.
up to Martinez.
Oh no.
Dull grey metal rests in her scabbard. A sword. The wind is too loud for her to hear.
Well, she also okay, she didn't hear. But, like, she shouldn't be here in the first place. She's at Land's End right now, because I asked her to go there.
Alright. Politics time. Let's react.
Oops.
Real men. Real politics. Real thoughts in your head.
Tch. The place is doomed either way.
Maybe.
She leans against the railing, looking up at the great sky.
Have I told
Great.
you how they discovered this place?
The wind picks up, her raincoat flaps in the gusts. This island?
No, they're in Celindian, Isla.
No, you haven't told me or how they found it.
Well, your condition has left you no worse off than most of these people. The literacy rate is around 45% west of the river. 50 years of occupation have left these people in an oblivion of poverty.
Oblivion, that's me.
I knew you would sympathize. Most Revacholians will never know what this place means. Our home. This island of matter. Or why they were ferried over in the first place. Remind me to tell you one day. For now, how can I assist you in this new location?
She corrects the scarf around her neck. Do I have time? Kind of. Tell me now I have time.
I hear you have singled out a suspect and are in pursuit. This is cause for cautious optimism. I would not want to delay you.
This story she will tell only before she leaves Martinez, at the very end of her stay.
Maybe there is something else I can assist you with. While you're hot in more lessons in basic. Glad to have been of assistance.
Oh, I
Little that I
hate
know.
just
Anything
trying
else?
to look for anything new that's
I fear
appeared.
I've told you. Is there anything else?
She's not even asking you anything. It's so...
Of course, Detective. You can always drop by later. What?
There was a touch of discomfort there. She nods.
Of course. Of course.
There's nothing. Why there is volition check on my list then? Yeah, there. Joyce volition medium. It's kind of confusing. I'm not sure if it's a bug or it's something I don't understand. Okay. Let's try going to the Land's End first, so I could be calm about meeting with that woman. Is it time sensitive? More money.
An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot.
20.
The wind has...
Crazy. Here's the trap. So this is the world, the Land's End.
It takes you a moment, but finally you spot the last of Morel's traps. This one's partially obscured by the reeds. The reeds sway in the coastal breeze. They seem to be waiting for something. The trap feels light and silent as you pick it up. Something is different here.
Look closer.
No locust. No phasmid either, but still.
Look closer still.
Nothing. No traces of the locust or the Insulindian phasmid. What happened? The netting is a little untidy, messier than the others. Like someone or something picked up the trap and shook it before dropping it back down on the ground. The reeds continue to hiss around you as you put the empty trap back on the ground. Time to consult the professionals, Morel and Lena.
Or they will fucking come up with such wild theories, I'm sure. It's something mundane. Either somebody picked it up or, I don't know, seagulls plucked on it.
Is there something here that would indicate a sniper used this place as a nest for taking the shot? Just some urban detritus, a bottle, and a dilapidated old comms tower.
Detritus. Waste or debris of any kind.
In the distance you can hear the breakers roar.
Man, it's 12 out of 12. Barely made it. In this distance you can hear the breakers roar. What does that mean? A heavy sea wave that breaks into the white foam on the shore or shoal. Maybe the assailant climbed the comms tower to took the shot from there.
The salty water has corroded the ladder to nothing but two thin orange rails. In addition, there is no stable nest up there. It would have been useless.
Maybe the campfire was used by the perpetrator.
To warm his hands before he pulled the trigger? There are no markings on the ground for a tripod. He would have had to lie on a mattress. This is simply not a good spot for a 1.2 kilometer shot.
Look over the water to the whirling in rags.
There, 1.2 kilometers over the cold water of the bay, blue from the distance and the air. You see the smallest rectangle, barely visible. The light is off on the third floor of the whirling in rags. The young woman is gone, in precinct 57. Safe, closed off. Her form no longer moves behind the glass there.
Cigarette butts cleaned away under a rock. Brand Teomontiri. Is it crossed out now? Yeah. Here's our girl with the sword. Should I do drugs? Tiny inlets there off the far distance where the posts trail toward island. I don't have speed actually. Oh wait, I do. Oh yeah, I bought it. Should I do it? Why the fuck it doesn't work? The cigarette is still going, too.
The woman gazes steadily at the waves. A sudden gust picks up her dark hair and lets it fall again, tousled, wild. She brushes a few stray locks from her eyes, and only then spots you approaching.
Aye, so here you are. I'm a bit surprised we're alone. It's mid-noon and the sun is out. I expected more drunks and teenagers. And drunk teenagers.
She looks around.
Know that you're not the first guy to bring a girl to Land's End. This is what the locals call a make-out spot. That is not going to happen here today. I just want to make that clear, Dimples.
She turns to face the sea once more.
Her thoughts are still elsewhere, with distances across the water, and with the water itself. Across the rusty water, that's La Delta, the financial district. In the mist-covered distance, towers rise as a rebuke to the poverty of this coast.
You seem surprised that I made it.
Drinking men aren't known for keeping their appointments.
She chuckles. I thought she said to come to the, like, when it's evening. I'm actually quite good at scheduling.
Aye, so an officer should be. All that running around must need a lot of structuring.
She lets a little laugh as she turns to face the sun reflected in the waves.
Her laughter is throaty and warm. It rhymes with the waves and the cries of the gulls. As she turns to face the sun, reflected in the waves and the skyscrapers rising across the bay, you cannot help following her steady gaze. You should say something, anything. Maybe the tequila sunset thing.
You know, a past incarnation of myself called himself Tequila Sunset. I wonder why that is.
It's a common Revacholian expression. Means drinking yourself to death.
She narrows her eyes. Found a corpse recently. It had a Tequila Sunset moment.
And what about you? Keeping the name?
Is there going to be a Raphael? No. It's completely abandoned. I prefer just going by my initials. It's more conspiratorial that way. Call me HDB. I think I'm good with Harrier Dubois these days.
Well then, Officer Dubois.
She nods to you, then turns toward the sunlit sea.
The sun reflected in the waves and the skyscrapers rising across the bay is mesmerizing. Your mind clears for a moment as your senses take it all in. Not just the glass skyscrapers, fragile looking in the shimmering air. River Esperance flowing into the bay.
Isn't it strange for this all-powerful thing, the sun, to be so generous towards us? You know, the best time to go out fishing is usually towards sunset, when the water is warmer.
Yeah, it just generously gives you cancer.
The sun also falls on the Capeside tenements and war-torn ruins. An old sea
Real
fortress
altruist.
juts out, seemingly impervious to the sheen cast over everything else, shaking you out of your reverie. The sun does little for the dead, and those hopelessly lost in their own minds, or people living in desert climates with sparse vegetation and little drinking water.
True. Should we be nagging though right now, or should we go for more like imaginative approach? Let's go with our nagging, whatever. It's just funny to me. I'm not sure desert people are happy with too much sunlight.
Now you're just nitpicking. But I concede. Maybe desert people sometimes disagree.
Is that why you named your boat the Sun?
Oh, that was a bit of pride and a bit of superstition.
And a bit of conceptual unity too, it being yellow and all.
Just enjoy the view.
The salt in the air, and the cries of the gulls and the skuas. Grit of the sand and the green glint of broken bottles.
A lot of
But
time passes.
still your gaze always returns to the dazzling streaks of light, wherever they may be reflected, their fading opulence.
It's bringing us spring, summer. It's entirely on our side, no matter what we do or who we are, for absolutely no reason. It's unlike no other powerful being, certainly no powerful organization or government. How can that be?
There is an explanation to this, and it's political. You see, begin a long and impassioned political tirade. So something gotta be on our side, because it's not human. Humans betray you. I think she will like that, I guess. I don't know, it's just pointless to talk about. It's just a part of the natural world. How about that? It doesn't need to have a purpose for your own good. Because it's not human. Humans betray you.
Do they? Some of them do, but...
She shrugs.
Sounds to me like you should choose your allies better, that's all.
Not bad. Your lost love? What that's supposed to mean? What did I do? Artful background. I guess maybe discovering that I had a wife? You have fish hooks in your ears.
These? These aren't real fish hooks, silly. They're earrings shaped to look like fish hooks. A drunk called Rosemary brought them to me. I kept them.
She's right. They're made mostly of plastic. A cheap novelty gift you can buy from a flower shop or a kiosk. The wind ruffles her hair as she looks at the setting sun.
One time in my childhood, when I was fishing, I was like 7 years old maybe, the other kid threw his line and a fish hook just wedged in my pointing finger, and the guy was keeping trying to throw it, which was just terrible. Just kept sinking deeper and deeper. He like pulled it 2 times as I was screaming out of pain. Yeah, and from that experience I'm terrified of fish hooks. I don't like thinking about them at all. There is an interesting lilt in your voice.
Thank you. I'm half Ubi. My mother was from Ubi Sunt. Not a lot of sun there, I hear. Though I've never been.
Lilt means accent, I assume. No, that's melody. A characteristic rising and falling of the voice when speaking, a pleasant, gentle accent. It's like a gentle version of the word accent.
The wind ruffles her hair as she looks at the setting sun.
Do you wish you were out there fishing right now?
I always do. I like it. It's like being on another planet. A water planet. With water worries and water joys.
The wind ruffles her hair as she looks at the setting sun.
So, who do you think killed the hanged man?
Good one. I'm gonna go with the rope.
And you would be wrong.
She thinks it was a riddle. She must not even know of that business.
Oh.
Better that way.
Wow. Oblivious. Say something about the sun.
Here we go. 2 different approaches to cap this off with style.
Is there a right one and a wrong one? Staring to the sun. Yeah, a massive thermonuclear reaction, 5 billion years old. The sun is a god. The only fault with the sun is it shines on us as well as our enemies. Yeah, a massive thermonuclear reaction, 5 billion years old. The sun is a god.
Aye. And a benevolent one. When did you last have one of those on your side?
She nods. When I had my love with me.
Well, now you have that giant thing to watch over you. So, to hell with love. You know...
She smiles.
The wind's gonna pick up soon, and I have to go, but...
She takes her sword out from the scabbard. Do they say it like that though? I would say from the scabbard, but okay. The blade shines in the gathering dark.
Have this. The sun's good, but it doesn't stick things.
Standard
no use for it
115mm saber. No use. But wasn't it for protection against men? Why do you don't have a use for it anymore all of a sudden? Are you sure you don't need a sword?
No. Men around here are too drunk to pose a threat to me.
Do you think there would be no people coming here from other places? It's just going to stay like this forever? Think we can do this again sometime?
Doubt it. But thank you for the company.
She smiles sadly.
This is as far as it goes with her. You'd need to put a year between you and your last drink for anything more.
Thank you for coming on this walk with me.
Farewell.
She nods to you and turns to go. Fare thee well, my honey. Fare thee well. So I have a sword now. Not bad. Equip this to impress yourself. The blade of this mass-produced saber has dulled over the years and won't slice or stab anyone. Come on! I guess that's why she gave it to me. It still commands respect in your hand, however. Holding on to its bakelite hilt fills you with the sense of purpose and a memory of the date. Bakelite? An early form of brittle plastic, typically dark brown, made from formaldehyde and phenol, used chiefly for electrical equipment. What's this? What is this noise? Hey. I mean, only items that are involved in combat do this so far. So gloves and shoes, the armor that we know that can stop bullet, and now the sword. Maybe that's what it means. We take a mental note. Teo Muritri seems important somehow. Okay, human retreat at the land's end for some reason, but we already crossed that out, so it's not our sniper. Nothing else in here? Right? Ah, shit. Seriously, just dead end? Well, we could go for the church then. Though I am kind of scared going there alone. And at the same time, if you die, you just load from the previous save, so it doesn't really have that much of a consequence.
Wooden doors, more than twice your height, stand. The lock turns easily. You hear a click as the shackle pops open.
Pull on the doors.
As you do, you hear the echo of the doomed commercial area. Its black halls and dusty machines. Then the feeling passes. A great whoosh of air rushes into the dark innards of the church, as though rushing to fill a great vacuum. In the heart of the city,
Oh. It looks way bigger than from the outside. The strange stillness fills you as you look ahead. You should walk here, not run. Fuck you. More of the forked lightning pattern you saw outside. Bark beetles? No, it looks intentional, some long forgotten style. What is this? This grotesque wooden figure looks half finished. Feels like it's trying to become one with the church. This figure was added later. It's not part of the original church. A new soundtrack too. The ash. Ash to ash. A prayer book has been left open. Excerpts from the Litany of Love, I think.
the silence in this part of the church, it's almost palpable. All the shifting matter and shuffling of living things is gone. Nothing seems to exist beyond the church anymore. Maybe if you were to stand in just the right spot, even your footsteps would be completely silent.
Wait, I think I still hear something.
And then it's gone. Almost all of it. But for the faintest of hums. It seems the sound here is detached from its source somehow, if not blotted out outright. Truly unusual. Sounds like the Pale.
How do I know what the Pale sounds like?
From recordings of the Far Pale. You've heard them. We all have. You can hardly hear your own breathing.
Yell as loud as you can.
Your voice is barely audible. Not a howl, but the softest of whimpers.
Stomp your feet and clap your hands.
You produce a few muffled thumps, after which the silence feels even more total, somehow.
Look up into the bell tower.
The orderly rows of ceiling panels become
Shit.
barely visible, then disappear completely in the darkness of the tower overhead.
It's a red one. Good thing I didn't equip a hat. Oh, really? Well... it was a try. I mean, I'm sure other people would just
Just darkness
load
without end.
all the time.
It makes your head spin.
I mean, why wouldn't you? What's the darkness like?
Filled with vague shapes of woodwork, the sense of a great height. It's like you see your own face reflected back at you in the vanishing geometry. A strange, alien image that's supposed to be you.
Try to make out something, anything.
There's nothing. You're dizzy and disoriented as you see dark and more dark rising.
Blink. Uh-oh, a crab
You
man.
see something hanging from the rafters, looking straight at you with dark eyes. Maybe it's possible to talk to it.
The bowl is filled with water. Live wire runs directly into it. So this is how it looks. It's like plates of water and... I mean, is it water or is it related to pale? This
Is that a
holding
man?
flashlight like
Looks
this.
more like part of the carpentry of the building came alive and is now studying you intently.
But before we continue, break in recording.